Hello, hello, everyone. Fix this just a little bit, make sure that it's straight. Hopefully. Okay. Hey, Kimmy. How are you guys doing? Welcome, everyone. If you are watching this live, there is a little red button up here that says live. And so you can, of course, comment, ask me questions, etc. during the actual live. Otherwise, you're watching this as a replay, and that's okay too, because you can still, sorry, I've got hiccups, you can still comment and ask questions and things like that. I will tell you the best way to ask me questions if you're not on a live with me, though, is to text me. I'm more than happy to answer questions at any time. If you guys have one, feel free to do that. Just give me a quick text and I will get back to you. By the way, for anybody who is new, first of all, say hi so we can welcome you. But I want to introduce myself. I am Jeri. My name is Jeri Mobley, and I'm also known as Shameless Stamper. You can find me here on Facebook, also YouTube, Instagram, and then, of course, my website, shamelessstamper.com. So please feel free to reach out to me in one of those ways and watch all the fun, creative stuff that we have going on here. For those of you that have never been here before, I am on Facebook Live 2 to 3 days a week. That's every Saturday and Sunday and most Fridays, always at 2 p.m. Central Time. And I do a lot of different kinds of videos. We do cards, we do layouts, we do 3D projects, etc. Also, I do technique videos and craft organizing videos, and I'm starting this new series called How to Use, which I'm super excited about. We do kits, we do all kinds of fun stuff. And if you ever miss a live, of course, you can watch it on replay for up to 30 days. I'll be transferring them to YouTube as well, so you can catch them there. And then if you'd like to know what lives are coming up, you can go to my events tab, and that will show you all of my upcoming lives so that you can decide what you want to make sure you see. Also, if you'd like to receive my updates and my reminders about lives and things like that, you can text me and ask me to add you to my list. I'll be happy to do that. You can ask me to add you to my email list, and by giving me your email on it via text, and I will be sure to do that too. That way you can get my calendar as well, which is super cool. I'll talk about it at the end of the video. All right. So welcome, everybody. So good to see so many people here this morning, or rather this afternoon. Why am I saying this morning? I don't know. What time of day is it? Who knows? And if you're in other parts of the world, it's a different time of day for you. But for me, it's 2 p.m., so it's afternoon. But welcome on this wonderful Sunday. I hope you guys are having a good day. Welcome, Kelly, Lisa, Ruthie, Marcia, Tanya, Ruthie, let's see, did I miss, oops. It keeps moving around. Kathy, Renee, so good to have all you guys here. Did I miss anybody? Meryl, did I say hi to you? Okay, so super glad to have you guys here. Be sure to comment, say hi, all those things. Commenting throughout the video will get you entries in my drawing at the end for free product. Also, I do a live one, but I also do one a week later. So commenting on the replay also gets you in drawings for free products. So that's a great way to do that. But if you are on live, you of course get 2 chances, which is awesome. Also, please let me know what is in your cup. Where are you from? What's your weather like? I'd love to hear these things. Oh, Marcia says it's freezing. Oh, there's a freeze warning tonight in Texas, which is crazy, right? I know. Weather is nuts right now. It's been raining here all weekend. It's been blustery and yuck. I'm in Oklahoma, for those of you that don't know. And so, yeah, it's super weird. Anyway, I'm super excited to start this new series with you guys. It has been requested that I do this video talking about the Pick Your Tool and all of its many attachments that you can purchase. And I decided I was going to do a really fun special offer for you guys if you'd like to get all these products. So we'll talk about that at the end, though. Ready? Okay, here we go. So this is the new series, How to Use, and we're starting it off with this wonderful tool called Pick Your Tool. So first of all, I want to go through all of the different parts of the Pick Your Tool. So let's start like this. I'm going to move those out of the way, and we're going to start right here. This is our base tool. So the base tool is a handle. Actually, let me just grab this handle because I have to take that off of there. Okay, is a handle like this, okay, and it has two different ends. One's fat, one's skinny, and that'll help you with figuring out where to put stuff, okay? So this big piece, and also a few of these other ones that have this screw-sized end, go in the big side, okay? And then these go in and snap in. You always want to make sure you lock it. See that little lock right there? You want to make sure you lock it into place. Those go in the skinny end. Okay, so that's what it is. And this is a rubberized handle so that you can easily hold on to it, all that jazz. Dreary in Philadelphia. Oh my, 81 and humid. Where are you, Kimmy? Okay, so we have a couple of things that come with this one. First of all, you get two of these putty ends that come with the original Pick Your Tool when you buy it. By the way, the original Pick Your Tool is $12, and you get all of these pieces that you see here. Okay. Oh, plus, sorry, hold on. Plus a cap, which we'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so this cap end, you always want to keep on this end, by the way. Very important. We'll talk about why. So this is your putty end, and all you do, can you see the putty that has come out of here? So there's a little string of putty that's come out of there, and I flatten mine down like this. And we'll talk about that later, how that works, okay? I use it until it stops sticking to stuff, right? And then when it stops sticking to stuff, you can just pull that off, that little piece. It's kind of like that tack board stuff you put behind posters, if y'all are familiar with that. Teachers will know what I'm talking about. And then I want to give you a little tip here, okay? So you don't waste this, because this is full of putty, this head right here. So what you want to do is you want to turn this a very little bit and then wait. Because if you turn too much, you're going to get a whole bunch of putty, and you don't need that much. You just need a little bit. So I'm going to wait, and you can see it's already starting to come out, and I'm going to see if I have enough. And if I don't, I can always turn it a little bit more. But I don't want to turn it too much, because then I will end up wasting a whole bunch of putty. Okay, so we'll come back to the putty end, but I do want to tell you, always remember to close this all the way. That will keep your putty end dry, so you don't waste a whole bunch of it. Now, that said, you do get two, and you can buy a refill. The cool thing about the refill is you get two heads for the refill also, and it's only $5. So it's super, super cheap to refill these. And I have to tell you, I have never had to buy a refill, partly because I have more than one handle, but it takes forever to go through these if you keep your lid on and you use it right, okay? So that's that end. Then on this end, we have two different attachments that you can put here. These two attachments are this one here, which is the paper piercer and spatula. By the way, I'm going to go through what all these do in a minute. I'm just going through the parts right now. And like I said, you put these in and twist to lock them into place so that you can use whichever end you want. So the cool thing about the Pick Your Tool is it's like, I don't know, what do you call it? Swiss Army knife. I was thinking it's like one of those knives, or a multi-tool. It's like a multi-tool that you would put in your pocket, but for crafting, right? Because it's got all these different pieces that you can use on this one handle, which is super cool. Now, if you're like me, I have more than one handle, partly because I used to do in-person classes, so I had multiples of these, and now I just started using them myself in my own craft room, partly because I'm lazy and I don't want to switch them out, but you don't have to, and that's the cool part, is you can just buy the base handle and then you've got it for all the pieces. So you can choose whether or not you want to put some of your favorite heads on more than one of these, or if you just want to have one. So that works out nicely. Now, the one thing I want to point out is it does come with this cap. And anytime I have my paper piercer end on this end, especially if I'm traveling with it, if it's in my drawer, I don't really mind it. But if you don't put this cap on this, that is dangerous. Okay, this thing is sharp, and ask me how I know. Okay. It's very sharp. You don't want to accidentally poke yourself and draw blood. So I highly recommend keeping the cap on this end. Okay. However, If you have it like this, then it's not going to matter, right? I can stick that in anything and that's not sharp. It's not going to do any damage, but the end still does fit on it. So for travel, either way, I always have this end on there. Okay. The other piece that comes with this base kit is your double stylus, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. The double stylus has 2 size ball ends. And so you can choose, sorry, I've got hiccups, guys. You can choose whatever end you want to use. Okay. So let me move these base pieces away for a minute. And we'll go back to the plain handle. So now we're back to our plain handle, and we're going to add, this is an add-on set that you can buy. This is the die brush set. This set also comes with 2 of these little, I don't know what to call this, like a foam mat. Okay, and so what you do is you screw the end on here. Now, you guys who watch me normally, you know, I always have this end with my die brush, and I keep it like this in my drawer. So I have this end and this end. This is my regular setup for my die brush, and I don't ever take it off because I have more than one handle. Why? Because I use this and this all the time when I'm working with dies, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so those are those 2 pieces. Again, you get 2 of these, and we'll talk about why you need these in a minute and some more of that detail. Okay, so that add-on is $13. Like I said, it comes with the brush plus 2 of the mats. All right, then we have the Crafters Tips add-on set, which is awesome. Okay, this one is the newest add-on. They may add more at some point that you can add on, who knows? But right now we have the 3 different ones. Okay, so this is the second add-on set to the original. So this set comes with a Crafters tip, and this goes in this large end. This is a X-Acto knife. Okay, so if you want to have a hobby blade, was what most people call this. This is very sharp, by the way, so I'm going to be very careful. But if you want to have a hobby blade, this is really nice because you can have it just on the tip of your pick your tool. Now, that said, this blade will, of course, eventually dull, just like any X-Acto knife, and then you can release it with the metal part here and replace it with a new blade. And of course, there's lots of different styles of blades out there that you can choose from. So you choose what you like and use that. But this one does come with, I think this one is a, does it have it on the end? I forget what size this is. Does anybody remember what size this is? I can never remember. Anyway, so I want to call it a 10, but I don't think that's right. That might be my scalpel. Anyway, so you do have your hobby blade for this end. I did that too tight. I do like to put mine on there tight. You also have this amazing blade that has a guard, and this is a rotary blade, which is so cool. So you get it on there and then you pull this down. Did you guys see that? You pull that down and then you can use your rotary. So we have that. That also goes in the large end. And then on the small end, you have this dual pick tool. So the pick tool can be used in different ways. It does kind of look like, I don't know, like a dentist tool. But you can use it for sculpting. You can use for people who like to play with clay and stuff like that. You can use these tips for that. You can use them for a lot of different things. We'll get to that in a minute. But again, this one just goes in, in the end here and locks into place. Okay, this is another one that I keep a lid on all the time because those are pretty sharp ends. And so if I don't have this in my pick your tool, I have little ends on it because I want to make sure that I don't poke myself. Just so you know. Okay. So that is all of the pieces. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. Oh, and that, by the way, that Crafters Tips add-on is $21. So let's get into the nitty gritty of how all of these things work. Are you guys excited? Oh, I've got a solution for you, Meryl, for that. She said she can't find all her pieces that came with her tools, so she needs to clean her desk. Yes, it does help if you keep your craft space clean. In my craft space, of course, I have places for my tools, and so, you know, that helps as well. But I do have a solution. We'll talk about it at the end, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the putty end. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just put this on the end here. So this is how I usually keep this tool with my putty end and my spatula. And I just like to have it this way, but again, you don't have to have more than one tool. Okay, you're excited to see this. Awesome. Yeah, it has been requested, so I'm doing it. Okay, so back to the putty end. Remember that tiny little turn that I did? And look, now that the time has passed, can you see how much has come out? I don't need more than that. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, don't turn it too much. You think you need to turn it more than you do. So just go less than you think and see how much will come out over a little bit of time. And if you need to turn it a little more, turn it a little bit more. But I just want to point that out to you so you don't waste your putty. Okay, so then I smash mine a little bit so that it kind of creates a little flat dome of putty on the end. Do you see that? Okay, and now this is sticky. So let's talk about the different things that we can do with this. All right, so I've got a little piece of paper here. One of the things I can do is I can take a die cut. Maybe I have my die cut in my little tray. Okay, so we have a little tray here with die cuts. Maybe I have it and I can pick it up. Whether it's on my table or my tray or whatever, look at that. I just pick up this little small die. Now, big dies, probably not something you're going to do, but little dies that are kind of cumbersome to pick up. This, or would it be cumbersome? That might not be the right word. Tedious. Tedious to pick up? That might be a better word. Anyway, oh, I'm glad you like the series. Okay, good. So this little die, now I can put some glue down and then attach my die to my paper. Okay, easy peasy. See how that works? So if I put some glue down, we're just gonna put a little bit of glue down. Ooh, that's a lot of glue. Okay, little dot of glue. It's a good thing it's a bigger die. And we just pop our die on there and bam, it's done. Now you guys probably have seen me do that before, but like I said, we're going strictly on all the tips and tricks to do with your pick your tool. And if I get to the end and y'all have an extra that I didn't say, I want you to join in, but don't do it yet because I might cover it. Okay, so just wait. Okay, so we can add dies. Another thing that we can do is we can do embellishments. So, oops, wrong door. So if you have sequins or other kinds of loose embellishments, again, I can add a little dot of glue, tiny dot of glue. You probably can't even see it on the camera hardly. And then I can grab a sequin from my sequin mix or whatever kind of loose embellishment I'm using, and I can just add it to my card. Bam, done, right? So that is wonderful. Another thing that I discovered recently, and I know that probably sounds funny to you because you're like, wow, you just learned this? Because some of you may already know this. Actually, I've seen it multiple times, but I thought, no, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. Oh my gosh. When I actually tried it, I was like, okay, why have I been doing it other ways? Now, here's the thing. You can use this tool. Several of the ends will do technically the same thing, but you have different things that each one of them do also. So the cool thing is you can choose the way that you like best, okay? So if you prefer to, with embellishments, if you prefer to use a spatula, or if you prefer to use which you guys have probably seen me do, or if you prefer to use the other end, the paper piercing end with your embellishments, you can do that. You've seen me do that a million times, I'm sure. You guys know, probably, if you watch me regularly, that I also am an oldie but a goodie, and I use my scissors to pick up my embellishments. Sometimes it's just about whatever's handy, right? But let me show you this fun trick. Oh my gosh. Ready? What? How easy was that? Like, I'm serious with you right now. That was the easiest thing in the world. I literally just push it with this thing, it picks it up, and I plop it down. I want somebody to give me a thumbs up and be like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Because let me tell you, if you haven't ever tried it and you have one of these already, go try it after this video. You're going to be like, holy cow, that's amazing. It's so easy. And why have I not tried it before? I don't know. I'm stubborn. Okay. So, like, that's why I still use my scissors sometimes. I'm just stubborn. That is amazing, guys. It's super easy. So, I highly recommend it. I'm just telling you right now. You guys will you will see a change. I mean, I'll probably still add a habit, do other things, but holy moly, it's so easy. Okay. So, another super fun thing you can do is when you have, I'm going to put a little dot of glue. Now, you guys know I usually add bows with a glue dot because I don't like waiting for the glue to dry. I'm impatient. But the thing about it is when you have these little tiny twine bows where you can't really, it's harder to use a glue dot. Yes, you can roll it up and I do that all the time. You guys, sorry, hiccups. You guys have probably seen me do it and then add it to the back and then stick it on. And if you want to keep doing that, by all means, keep doing that. I probably will too. However, you can put a dot of glue down, take your bow that you've created, and then plop it right where you need it, even if it's amongst a whole bunch of stuff that is going to be in the way, okay? A little bit here. Wait, what? I know. I've like I said, I've seen it for probably over a year, but I've just never tried it because I'm stubborn. So anyway. Okay, so now that bow is stuck to this, and there you go. Now, I won't do this for ribbon, but it does help a little bit with this. And you can, yes, you could use your fingers to do that too. Just showing you, if for any reason you struggle with picking it up, maybe you're having trouble with gripping or something like that, this is another way you can pick up your little twine bow and stick it on something, okay? All right, so there's that. Also, another fun little trick. I stamped out this little bee. Oh, by the way, I have to show you guys this. Oh, if you guys are wondering, my little star here and the flowers you're going to see here in a minute are from the all zipped up stamp set, just in case you were wondering. Okay, so I got to show you something, just a little commercial, not a commercial. We're just going to hold what we're talking about and come over here to this. So I stamped one of the stamps from the Be My Valentine stamp set. I thought that these new bees in the meant to be, that one of them was the same size. It isn't, guys. One is bigger and one is smaller than this one. That means if you have both sets, you have 3 sizes of bees. What? Oh my gosh. How cool is that? I thought they were similar because I was looking at the picture thinking, oh, it's the same, but it's not. I'm going to prove it to you because you probably are going, you're lying, right? Like, no way. I'm going to prove it to you. So I haven't even gotten to play with this set yet. Let me take my plastic off. Okay, so I'm going to take this one from the original set and I'm going to put it, can you guys see this? I don't know if you can see this. Hold on, let me get a piece of paper or something. Okay, and I'm going to put it here. Do you see? Do you see? It's smaller than this one. I hope you can see that. And it's bigger than this one. So now with both of these die sets, I have 3 sizes of bees. How cute is that? Plus all of the little goodies that go with it. You've got flowers, and if you have this one, you have the little stems for your flowers. There are no stems in this one, so they're really great to buy together. Buy both. I'm telling you, you will be happy that you bought both of them. Plus, we've got some different smiles in this one as well. So all 3 of these smiles are different from these smiles. So you will then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 faces that you can use on your bees if you buy both sets. And you have 2 different fly lines, which is awesome. You've got different size hearts in both of these. It's incredible. So I'm highly recommending that you guys pick up both of these sets and you will be super happy. Okay, that said, sorry, that was my little, I don't know, it's not really a commercial, but you know, just informing you kind of thing, because I didn't know. Okay. A little late again, Jeri, but we still love you. I'm late to the party. You will be happy, Meryl said. Yes, that's great. My husband would be so happy if he was here right now to hear you say that. Okay, so I'm going to take my punch. This is the middle one, the one that comes from the original set, okay? So I'm going to take my punch, and the problem is sometimes when you go to put these in here, your piece of paper that you cut is too small. Look, I can't get it in there right? So this is another thing that you can use your putty end for, is to get it right where you want it. If I can. I'm struggling a little bit. Okay, there we go. And then punch it so that you get your shape exactly where you wanted it. So if you ever have a piece of paper that you've stamped on and it's just not coming out right, then you can use your little putty end to help with that. Okay, cool tip, right? All right, so we're gonna see this bee again. Don't worry, he's coming back. Okay. Last but not least, and I'm sure there's something else out there that I haven't thought of, but yes, Post-it notes work. They do. And I have done that before. I think it's a great tip. And if you like that tip and you'd prefer it, I have to say it is my preference. I would take a Post-it note like this. Oops, I grabbed two. Yeah. I would take a Post-it note like this and pop it on the side of the piece of paper, wherever. And then that way I had like an extension, right? That I could get it in there. That's usually what I do. Now that I have I don't have a full piece, it's getting stuck. Okay, there we go. Anyway, you get the idea. Come back out. Got it stuck in there. All right, I'll deal with that later. Okay, so that was a really bad example since I was struggling with a piece that was already cut. Okay, so last but not least, is you may get these little guys all over your table and you're frustrated with picking them up or trying to get a hold of them. And I will tell you that you can come in here, whoops, and pick up your little backs to your dimensionals or little pieces of paper that are stuck on your table somewhere. It is fun to use for cleanup. So don't forget, that's just kind of an after, thought. It's not really for crafting. It's for crafting cleanup. So it can be good for that too. Okay, it's okay to be late. It's okay. You'll probably want to go Papa Bee, Baby Bee, and the first one's the Mama Bee. Oh, that's hilarious. I love that, Tanya. Whoever said that, that's genius. I love it, and that is what I'm going to start saying. I've stolen it, even though I don't know who it's from. Okay, so Mama Bee is the original, and then we have Papa Bee and Baby Bee, okay? So make sure you get both. Okay. Also, there's dies that coordinate with the second one, which is amazing, and you'll see those in a minute, too. Okay. I know, I'm nuts. Okay, so moving on. Number 2 is our spatula. This is the second part of the main set that I want to talk about. So the spatula is great for a lot of great things. Now, we've already talked about the fact that you can use it for dimensionals. Sorry, we were just talking about dimensionals, for putting down embellishments. So yes, I do and have many times picked up my embellishments with a spatula. I don't do that often. I usually use the tip, the other tip, the paper piercer, but I probably won't ever again now that I found this other way of doing it, because, I'm stubborn. But anyway, you can use it for embellishments if you, Amy Rich, oh, I don't know who that is. Okay, but that's cool. That's hilarious. So you can use it for that as well. Okay, you can also use it to remove an embellishment. So maybe you put an embellishment down and you decide, I really want to put that somewhere else. Very carefully, you can lift that embellishment or ribbon. And this was even on glue, you guys, but I could pick that up and put it back wherever I want to put it, right? So you can use it for that, and then you can clean this off with alcohol. So I kind of am saying that you can use it in places where this would be too big. So the little chiseler, of course, is not a Stampin' Up! Product. If those of you that follow me know, I use this all the time when I find myself in trouble. but it's more for big things like lifting up cardstock and things like that. But a little thing like embellishments or ribbon, something like that, this would be a better option because you can't necessarily get this in everywhere. So this is an option. So don't forget you have that. Oh, I believe she's a Stampin' demonstrator. I just don't know who she is. Okay. So, it happens. We can't know everybody, unfortunately. I wish I could. That would be so nice. Just be like, oh, I know you too. But no, I don't know everybody, unfortunately. Okay. Another great thing to use your spatula for is probably something you've already thought about, more of an art thing. So when we have our embossing pastes, things like that, you can use your spatula for that. So I just take, for instance, when I'm mixing something, I will take my embossing paste out and I'll take a little bit of embossing paste. Mine's getting a little bit dry. It's old. I need to get some new. Yep, I do. It will dry out eventually, you guys, if you've opened it. So I probably need to get some new. But anyway, so you get a little bit of embossing paste. And then you're going to mix your embossing paste, even though my embossing paste is kind of dry. That's okay. I'm going to mix it with a drop of ink. And this happens to be Lost Lagoon. And so now I can take my paste, and you see how I'm smashing it and mixing it up? Now, obviously, if I'm doing a project, I'm going to make a whole lot more, but I'm just showing you like a little tiny bit, okay? So even though this embossing paste was a little dry, it's still very usable, especially if you add ink to it. So don't throw your drier embossing paste away, unless it's completely hard as a rock. Okay, so I can make embossing paste to then use on a project, whatever that project is. And so now I have colored embossing paste. Okay. And you can, again, clean this off with alcohol if you get anything on it that isn't just wiping off. All right. So also you can add to embossing paste other things like our pastels. Now, I haven't done a video on the pastels yet. And so you guys are probably going, wait, I don't even know what that is. I know, I'm going to, don't worry. So pastels are like, oh, they're a little bit like chalk, but they're an art supply, okay? And you can do several things with them. We're not going to do all of that today because that's not what this video is about. But I am going to take this little pastel right here. And by the way, they're messy. They get all over you, but it's okay. They wipe off nicely. And you can take your little spatula and scrape off some of the color from your pastel and mix that in with embossing paste or other things like, well, we won't get into all that, but this can be used as a scraper is the point. Okay. Dump that out. Okay. So it can also be used as a scraper, which is super awesome because sometimes you need that. And what other tool in our toolbox would we use, right? Okay. Also not words. Last but not least, and like I said, there may be others. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yes, most people use mask with stencils. Mask with stencils. What? Masks or stencils with embossing paste, but you can also put it just straight on a project. I have done that before. Anyway, the point being, because this gives a texture. You see that? Like even just putting it on there like spackle gives a texture. Now, of course, I'm going to use these tools that I use with my embossing paste to actually put it on. I'm not going to use this, but this is a great mixing tool. Okay. That's what I was trying to show you is it's a great mixing tool. Okay. So, last but not least, this is not the tool I use for this. However, it can be used. And I'm just going to point out, I usually use this end for this, but, and I'm going to show you both. You can lift up the release paper from your tear and tape with the spatula. Now, I prefer this end moving to our next item, which is the paper piercer. All right, so the paper piercer is my preference for this. because it's pointed. I just feel like it gets in there better. And then I can take the release paper off of something like this, and I'm good to go. Let's put that back on there just for the sake of keeping it from sticking to everything. Okay, so I use that most of the time to release my release paper because I just find it easier. Now, another thing is that some people use this for dimensionals. I don't. I use my fingers for dimensionals, but I know people who prefer to stab their dimensional and lift it. See, whatever. It doesn't work for me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't work for me. But some people like to do that. Other people like to take their dimensional, put it on the paper, and let's pretend that's still on there. Just so I don't waste another one. Not that they're expensive. And then they take off the release paper from their dimensional with this. So that's an option too if you want to do that. Is it necessary? No. I'm just telling you that's what some people do. I use my fingers for all of what I do with dimensionals. I never use a tool, but you totally can if you need to. So some of this is preference and some of this is necessary. Like if you have certain issues like with your nails or your maybe a disability with your hands, certain things about the tools can be helpful to you, whereas someone else may not need it. So just pick and choose what you need. I highly recommend you practice all these things and see what you like best also, because we all have preferences. Okay. All right. Lisa, is that a joke? Your favorite art medium is high school? What? Yes, I am going to do a how to use pastels. Yes, we are going to do that. How do you store all your tools? Now, that's an organizing thing. So that's another video, but we'll get to that someday. Okay. How do you use embossing paste? Oh, okay. So that was the masks and stencils. Yes, there's lots of ways to use embossing paste. I have done videos on embossing paste before, so check one of those out. I may do another one in the future. So again, that's another, I'm not really going into techniques here today. I'm really kind of just showing you the tools straight up. Okay. So if you see an adjacent idea, just know that you can either look up my old videos or you can, that it might be coming in the future. If there's something you do need to know though, feel free to text me and say, hey, if you haven't done a video on this, please do. If you have, can you point me in the right direction? And I'll be happy to try to do that for you. Okay. Used to take the tops off. The dimensionals are already on my card. Like I just showed. Yes. Yes. So you used to use this to take your dimensional backs off. Yeah, for me, it's just more difficult. It's like another step, grabbing a tool. I can just pull them off with my fingers. But if you have trouble with that, then this is a tool that you can use for that. Okay. All right. And there's actually another one, and I'll show that in a minute. Okay, so back to our piercer. We talked about embellishments. We talked about because, like I said, with the with this tool, I also use this to pull these off of my thing and then put them on my. That's how I've done it for ages. After I stopped using scissors, but I will be using this from now on. Okay, so tear and tape we talked about. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm looking at my list. The next thing is dies. So when you cut out a detailed die, so we have this die, which is from the Beautiful Motifs, which is super cool, by the way. When you have a die like this, and I've already run it through my machine, I'm gonna then put it on here. Now, some dies pop right out, and that's fine. But some dies don't. And so there's a couple of things. I'm actually going to skip ahead a little bit by showing you what I do first. So just bear with me because I am going to come back to this tool. But it's an order thing. Okay. So, so normally when I take out my die, I have this little guy and I have this already set up with the paper piercer and my weeding tool. I call this a weeding tool. Other people do. Other people just call it a roller. Whatever you want to call it is fine. I call it a weeding tool because it's going to do my weeding for me. Okay, it's going to weed out all the pieces that I don't want. So what I do is I first hit my die like this with my weeding tool, and I'm on my little spongy thing, and that helps to release everything. And then when I pull it off, most of the time everything comes out. Sometimes it doesn't, and then I'll weed it again, or I will use my pick your tool to poke out whatever pieces are still stuck in there. All right, and then I can release the rest of this. Let go. It's a detailed die, so be careful. And I can release the rest of this, and then if there's any little pieces still stuck in my die, again, I can poke those out with my pick your tool. So you see why I kind of wanted to show you these two together for this. They work in tandem. Okay, another little side note to this, I'm going to set this aside for a minute, is I don't actually use this in the open like this. What I do, and there's a couple of options, if you have the old style, the double-sided, or the double-sided, these are the ones that the cases that we had for wood stamps. So if you have wood back stamps, you maybe have some of these cases. So if you have these, you used to be able to buy them like this, just by themselves. We don't have them for purchase anymore, so I'm sorry if you don't have them. This is what I do. I have my two pieces in here, and I actually will use it and roll it on there, and then I've got everything contained, and I can then take it to the trash can. If you don't have the big ones, you can put one of these in one of the single ones, and you can purchase these. I'm also going to be including one of these in my special thing that I was talking about earlier, and so you can use one of these for this and do that, and then you can take all this over to the trash can and dump it out so you don't end up with pieces everywhere. Okay, another option, if you don't want to buy one of the cases for this, is that if you've purchased a kit, whether it's Paper Pumpkin or this is from our kit collection, a lot of people like to use this, and so they will put their little sponge guy in here. They'll roll their die in here. Whoops, I just made a piece go flying. They'll roll their die in there, and then they'll dump it out like this, and then lay that back down. And then when they feel like they've got too many pieces in the box, they go and dump their box. So that's an option too. In fact, you can even leave this in here with this, and this can be like your little station for die cutting. Now, if you're going to need this tool for other stuff, you might not want to leave it in here, or if you want to have two tools and have one that's just for this, you could do that, of course. It's completely up to you. So that's an option. Okay? All right. So that is the die situation for releasing dies, using your paper piercing, all that kind of stuff for that. All right, next we're going to talk about actual paper piercing. So I have a Stampin' Pierce mat. My Stampin' Pierce mat, I highly recommend that you have one side, and I use the side with the logo on it, for stamping. Leave this pristine. I have accidentally punched holes in it before because I wasn't paying attention. Try not to do that. But I like one side to be pristine for stamping on. The other side I use for piercing. You can see there's holes all in this, right? Okay, so in fact, this little heart is what I made today. I'm going to show you that. Okay, so we are going to, what did I do with, okay, we'll grab this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about actually using this as a paper piercer. What is that for, right? So one of the things you can do is you can put a hole in your paper for ribbons. Now what I like to do is I put the hole in, and then I just kind of make it, I go all the way down to the base of this and make sure that I get it nice and big. You also want to make sure they're not too close apart, otherwise it'll tear through your paper. So I usually do, you know, at least 1/4 of an inch apart. And then you can take your ribbon and you want to angle cut it. And then you can pop this in here. It's a little harder to go this direction, just FYI, because you have these extra like pieces of paper back here that you punch through, but you can do it. It's easier with the thinner ribbon, but it is doable with any ribbon. Give yourself a little extra room because you're probably going to make it a mess of one of the ends. And then, so if you don't want to attach it with glue and you want to attach it directly to your paper, if you guys have ever watched my bow video, I did talk about this already on there, then you can tie a bow directly onto your paper, which is super cool. If I can tie this bow. Probably not, because it's on TV, right? No. On TV. Not on TV. Ugh. On video. Y'all know what I'm saying. All right. Not a pretty bow. I didn't do a good job, but y'all get the idea. I can't tie today. All right. And then I can come back in and, you know, trim it however I want to for my card. So I can put that directly on a card and it's attached and I put my glue on, stick it on the card, whatever you're doing, and it's a separate piece. You have a separate mat, Pierce mat from SU. It's the same thing. Oh, okay. So you have two, you mean you have two of these, or you have something old that we used to have? Is that what you're saying? Oh, pastels were your favorite medium in high school. Gotcha, Lisa. I get it. I get it. You use the paper pumpkin box for your weeding tool. Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, so you can do this. This is an option if you don't want to stick it down with like I usually do with a glue dot or something like that. It's an option. Okay. Your fingernails get in the way of tying bows. It's a thing you got to practice. I mean, I have fingernails, so you just got to practice a little bit. All right. So that is doing that. Also, you may want to attach something with a brad, or maybe you just want to put a brad in so that because it's pretty. You can do that too. So I've got some brads here. These are discontinued. We don't have these anymore, but we did. And so I have some little brads. Actually, I don't want to use the squares. I wanted the circles. Hold on. I still use these all the time, even though they're retired. Where are the circles? There they are. So I keep these handy. They do all come in one pack. So let's say you want to do a flower. I use the same color. Here, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so let's say you want to add this flower. I can add, I'm going to take this and I'm going to punch through both pieces. Yes, you can punch through more than one piece. And I'm going to add my little brad. And bam, I've added whatever it is that I want to add, whoops, to my card with a brad. Maybe it's something you want that you want it to be able to spin. Maybe it's something you just want to put it on with a brad because you think it's cute. It doesn't matter. That is more typical use of a paper piercer, is to punch holes for ribbon or for a brad. Okay, so you guys probably already knew that one, right? But, you know, it's worth saying. Don't forget, you have that tool there. Okay, also, we can do die template piercing. So this is so cool, you guys. I'm in love with this. Okay, so this is something that I did today. You can see the little heart there. I used this heart, which is from the Hearts of Elegance die set. You'll see it again. So I took this and I laid it down. I highly recommend taking a piece of washi tape and sticking it down on one side so that while you're doing it, it doesn't slide around, okay? And then you just come in and you make holes ever so often, however far apart you want them to be, in your paper, and then you can use this on a card or a layout or whatever you want, right? Also, if you do it on the inside, for instance, you can die cut the piece first and then come in and add it on the inside as an inside of a die cut embellishment. So you're embellishing an already die cut piece. So I can die cut a piece out and then do the same thing, but do it on the inside. So I just hold it in place. When I get around to the part where that tape is, I move it over here and finish up, right? And I ended up with this. How cool is that? Isn't that neat looking, you guys? I think it's awesome. And there's one step further that you can go with this that we're going to talk about in a minute. But I just kind of wanted to show you that first. Now, another thing you can do is that you can come in and make little random holes like I did here in whatever pattern you want, like a cute little fly pattern that you would use for a bee, right? So maybe my little bee is on my piece of paper and I want a little fly pattern. I can make a quick little fly pattern with my paper piercing end, okay? You can also use one of the picks for that, but I just wanted to show you there's different ways that you can use that. So whether you're using a die or a stencil to create a shape, or you're doing something freehand, you can do that kind of thing, okay? All right, so that's that one. Okay, also back to this. You can also use this type of thing for stitching. Now, if I decide to do stitching, I am not going to put my holes this close together. I'm also going to end up making my holes bigger. So if you're going to do stitching, I recommend that you do them a little farther apart, like probably 1/4 of an inch apart, and then make them, depending on what you're using. If you're using thread, you want them to be a smaller hole. If you're using yarn, you're going to want it to be a thicker hole. And you guys are probably like, what are you talking about? If you've never seen it, it's super fun. I don't typically do it on here, but I recommend I use, oh, I just lost the word. Oh, I hate it when that happens. What's it called? Embroidery thread. Sorry, I was like, embossing was the word that kept coming into my head because it starts with an E. It's embroidery thread. So I use embroidery thread and I stitch through, and you can actually stitch out and in, out and in. Always start on the back. We won't go into that. That's a whole nother technique. But anyway, you can use this for stitching as well. So this is a great way to take any of your dies, use them as a template for something that you want to stitch. Or you can, of course, do a free pattern that you want to stitch. Like I could stitch this cute little, trail, maybe with some black thread or something like that. In fact, I could go, because it would be every other hole. Oh my gosh, that would be so cute. I'm just realizing that. That would be so cute. Yeah, so when I do I am going to do a video on threading and embroidery floss, yes. And when I do that, I will talk about doing it for this versus this, because it is different. There's different kinds of stitches. So if you guys have never seen that before, it's super fun. We'll do that at some point. I only have so much time, you guys. Okay, so moving right along, let's see, stitching, flight pattern, yeah, I did all that. Okay, so next up is we're going to talk about the stylus end. So I'm going to grab this little guy. This is the other end that comes with the basic set. Oh, Katie, what? Your stomach hurts today. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing the video, Linda. Okay. I will teach you that technique sometime. Yes, I will. It's fun. You'll like it. All right. So, does anybody actually embroider? Raise your hand if you actually embroider. I do. And it's super fun. And so you can use all the same techniques that you would use for embroidering on cloth on a card, which is amazing. And you can come up with some really fun things. So yeah, thank you for sharing the video, Darlene. I appreciate that so much. Okay, so we have our little stylus piece, and there are 2 different sizes of styluses. And so we're going to talk about all the things that we can do with this. So I'm going to move my little board there. I'm going to start with the little end. So you're going to decide which end to use depending on what technique you're doing, how big of an area you want, etc. They're both useful in different ways, okay? So the first one I'm going to do, though, is this little end. And I want to show you something. So on your trimmer, if you've ever lost this, by the way, you can replace these online. You can find them, the replacement blades, the replacement scoring blades. But let's say you lost it, right? And you're like in a pinch and you've got to score something. Well, you know what? You can pop this in here and score with this. And in fact, some people like to score with this better because they like the line that it gives. The little end works better in the trimmer. I think you can still get the big end in there. Yeah, you can, but I would recommend the little end for working with your trimmer. But because it's in a track, it allows you to get your score line perfectly, okay? You can also use our scoreboard. Now, you guys haven't seen me use this a lot, because it's like kind of big and kind of hard to use on camera. So we have these wonderful scoreboards, and these are amazing. We used to have some inserts that would allow you to score in diagonals and all kinds of fun stuff. I have all those, but we don't have them anymore. We just have the basic board. And so you have a little thing here. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but you've got a little thing here that holds some of your pieces. You've got little markers that you can take in and out and put in certain places. I have them in places that I use regularly. And then down here is this little scoring tool, right? And it has 2 stylus ends. What do you know? Look at this. They're basically the same, okay? So this can replace this tool if you have lost your stylus pen. You can also use this piece from this to use on your scoreboard. Vice versa, you can always use your stylus pen to use in any way that anything I show you to do with this end. Okay, that said, move my stylus board back out of the way. Okay, whoops, I left my little tool there. I don't want to lose mine. Okay, so so you can use it for that kind of scoring with a trimmer or a scoreboard. You can also score in other ways. For instance, we can take, I have a little piece of gold foil here, and I have my heart die. I cut this out earlier. I'm going to kind of set it back in there. Hopefully it's actually in there in the right spot. Get it in the right spot if it's popped out. Now, normally if I was doing this, I would probably do it before I popped the die out, but I needed to use it for something else. So, we can deboss with this or emboss with this. In this case, I'm going to deboss because it's easier to show on camera. But I will show you both of them in just a second. So I can, again, use my die essentially as a tool, and I can go around, hold it tight, okay? You don't want to have a mess up. You do want to do this on your mat because you need a cushy thing underneath to do this. Try not to move it. And you can see here, I'm just pushing, and you can decide how much pressure you want to do, whether you want it to be a lot or a little. Depends on what you're using. Foil works really well for this. But you can see here, I've created a little lip, essentially, a little debossed line in my heart. Okay? I could even come in with a smaller heart and put that here and deboss around it and have another layer of embossing, or rather debossing, in my heart. Okay? So it's super fun to add to images like this. You can do that. Or you can take this and maybe you want to do it on a full piece of cardstock so that you can then add this piece to a card or a layout. Okay? Just don't let it move. That's the key. Don't let it move. If you want to use tape to hold it, I highly recommend it. So I can now take my embossed piece and use that elsewhere. Or I'm going to use this to line this up. I can go to the back side and do the same thing. Now, obviously my piece is a little small. I think I did it the wrong direction. I think I was supposed to do my heart the other way. I had the right size piece, so I just did it the wrong way, but that's okay. Y'all get the idea. Don't move. It moved. Oh well. Okay, and now I have embossed and debossed. Can you guys see the difference? Hopefully you can. So you can play around with that and use that. And you can even just do freehand stuff. I could do, watch this. You can actually write with it like a pen and get an embossing in your paper. So you can make lines, you can use your ruler and make lines with this. You can do all kinds of fun things. Maybe I want to make some kind of crazy design with lines, right? Or I want them to be straight. I can do that too. If you don't have a scoring board, you don't actually have to have one. You can just use a ruler, all right? So lots of fun techniques for actually scoring things for design purposes, okay? Not just for scoring it to fold it. A lot of times we think about our scoring as just something that we do to fold a card, and it's not. It can be used for all kinds of fun things. Okay, another thing I like to do with this tool, move this paper out of the way. I have another flower here. And for this, I use the bigger side. Now, you can do any of these techniques with either side. It's just going to give you a different look. I usually use the thinner side for most of this kind of stuff because I feel like it gets deeper. This is going to give you a wider, look at that. See, it's wider. Okay, so it just depends on what you're looking for. All right, but the other thing I use this for is I can take this for little flowers and I just push in the center and it creates a cup with my flower. Do you see that? It like instantly created petals too. Isn't that nuts? It's crazy. So I get this little 3D flower that I can now add to my, with a brad, or I could add it with a glue dot and add an embellishment on top, whatever I want to do, right? So this is a great way to add that kind of thing. And the less you press, the more it's going to come up. So I could do just a little bit, or maybe I kind of go in a circle like this. You see how I'm rolling it? It depends on what I'm trying to play with, okay? Or I can push harder and I'll get it to come up more. So you can play around with that technique as well. Excuse me. Let me get a sip of water here. Rather, tea. I'm having my Rooibos herbal tea, guys, with honey. Okay. So sorry. All right. Did I? Oh, okay. Another thing that you can do with your stylus is, let me grab dimensionals again. So we have some dimensionals here. And I'm going to put a dimensional on here. Some people like to do this with their dimensionals. They push down in the center and that just pops up the edge a little bit more so it makes it easier to pick up. Okay, so if I was going to use a tool to help with my dimensional, that would be it. It would be a stylus. I don't normally have my stylus on there, so I probably wouldn't do it. But if I was going to use a tool for this, it would be the stylus. So if you need something like that to help you with getting the edge of the dimensional up, I recommend this. This is my preference for dimensionals if I'm going to use a tool. Okay, I feel like I'm missing something. I wrote down, I guess I did that already. I think I skipped ahead earlier, so I confused myself. Okay. Any questions about any of the main tool pieces? I'm going to still do the other ones. Don't worry, we're getting there. I'm asking if you have any questions about the main tool pieces yet. Just the main ones. So that's going to be the putty end. Don't even pay attention to this. I skipped ahead for this, remember? So the putty end, the styluses, the paper piercer, where did that go? Or the, ow, see, I just poked myself. Oh. Be careful. I made myself bleed. Oh my gosh, that hurt. Right in my nail bed, too. Like, ow. This is sharp. I told you, ask me how I know. I've done it many times. Like I said, I don't need anything but my own fingernails to get dimensional backs off, but some people do. So it's an option for those of you that do. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about the main tool pieces? Don't forget you have an extra that comes with it. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to move on. Okay. All right, so moving on to we covered the brush. Okay, this tool, I know I skipped ahead. I'm sorry. You guys saw it though. This is great for weeding a die out. Yeah. I know, I hurt myself on camera. Okay, I told y'all about my accident I had here, right? So this was a few days ago. I broke a piece of pottery in the kitchen in the sink. I was washing it, not like a kitchen pottery type thing. And I was washing it. It was ceramic. Sorry, I shouldn't say pottery. I should say ceramic. Anyway, I was washing it and it slipped out of my hand and broke in the sink. I was so mad because it was my favorite pieces and now I have to replace it. Anyway, so it broke in the sink and the chunk that broke off went into the disposal. So I'm reaching down in the disposal, trying to get it out. And either the pottery or the blade in the disposal cut my hand. I have no idea which. I was so mad at myself. I was like, argh. Okay, so anyway, we talked about the brush, and so we'll move on from that to the last part, which is our crafters, what is it called? Crafters tips, that's what these are called. Okay, so this is another add-on that is called the Crafters tips that I highly, highly recommend. These tips are so cool. We're going to start with the pick tips, okay? So the pick tips are basically what you think they are. I mean, if you guys have ever done any sculpting with clay, you may have used some tools like this. We don't typically use that kind of stuff in Stampin' Up, so it's not really something I would use for that. However, you can somewhat sculpt your embossing powder a little bit. So embossing paste. So if you want to do something like that, waiting till the paste has gotten some solidification and you want to kind of move stuff around, you can do some different things with that. I'm not going to really show that today because it's more of a kind of a high technique and I'm not really ready to do that, but it is something you can use it for. I know it looks like a dental tool, something that you'd use on your teeth, but this end is a paper piercer. These are very sharp, by the way. Please be sure to use the end tips on these. These are super sharp. As you can see, this one, where's my other one? This one is significantly thinner than the other paper piercer. So if you're trying to do something like this design and you want to make sure that you don't go too fat, I recommend this one actually to do this design. So if I was going to do this design again, rather than using this one, which I have a little less control of how, you know, if it goes too deep, it's going to be thicker. This one is a thinner hole. So overall, you're going to end up with a thinner hole when it's all said and done, and you'll be able to control a little bit better that size, in other words. So you can use this to do paper piercing, of course. You can also use this to clean out your dies, your die cuts, etc. This is particularly good at cleaning out a die if you need to punch through here, because it's a little bit smaller than the other one. The other one is, you know, it only goes through a little bit. It works. That's what I use all the time. But this one is a little bit smaller, and so you can do that. But in particular, I don't usually use it for this side. What I would use it for, and I use my other one for this too, is to, if you have a piece that's stuck in here, like a little extra piece or something, to kind of clean it out, it can be very useful for that because it's super fine. So if you are struggling with the other one, which is the one I typically use, then this can come in handy as a second. But I have to say, these are, in my opinion, a bit redundant for me, based on the techniques that I typically use. Not that it's a bad thing, because I still have it handy for when I want to use it, but I don't use this piece very often. That's okay. You're lucky this disposal. It wasn't a horror flick, Kathleen. Oh my gosh, you're a mess. Okay, so someone has asked, what do you do if your brush is losing bristles? It does happen. Sometimes they get stuck and they will pull out. I have replaced one brush. It took me a long time to get there, and I'm talking a lot of dies. So you can see those, sometimes they kind of start to come out a little bit. That's okay. It's not a big deal. It's fine. But if you've done something particular that's caused you to lose too many bristles and you want more, you just buy another one, honestly. But I've only ever had to replace one, and that's because I used the first one a lot. And because I use them for making kits for you guys and everything. So, you know, it may eventually wear out, but it is totally worth every penny. I will tell you that right now. Every penny. Not that it's a lot of pennies, but every penny. Okay. So that's the pick tips. Again, I don't really use these a whole lot. Do any of you already have these and use these regularly? Or do you have suggestions for them that I'm not thinking of? Because honestly, I don't use those very much. Okay. But that said, I do use the other two a lot. So I want to show you these. Okay. That's why you don't use the X-Acto knife, because you're scared of it. I'm not scared of the X-Acto knife. I've never hurt myself with the X-Acto knife. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. But yeah, I have hurt myself with these. That's why these come with a cover, because this is very sharp, super sharp. And I have poked myself many times with our snips. That's why I don't use it. Okay, so I have Band-Aids on my craft desk. Yes, it's good to have Band-Aids on your craft desk. Very good. I don't. That's a great idea. I should start doing that. Hot glue gun and I have a love-hate relationship. With your Cricut machine, yes. I hadn't thought about that. It's probably a good tool for that. Yes. But again, not everybody has that. So I don't, you know, that's kind of a specialized thing. If you have a Cricut machine and you want to make use of that for that, awesome. Did I miss any questions? Lori, shame on you. Lori said it's now a Jeri piercer. That's not okay. Oh, Linda, I'm sorry it's cutting out. Oh no. It's a dangerous hobby. It is. Okay. So let's move on to our hobby blade. So this is the hobby blade. It does go on the fat side. Any of the ones with the screw tip like this go on the fat side. And I do like to make sure that it's nice and tight. I always keep this lid on here when I am not using it. I don't even leave it on my desk like this because I do not want to cut myself. So always put your lid. Hot glue gun injuries are nothing to sneeze at. Someone made me a Band-Aid package when scrapbooking a few years ago. That's hilarious. That is so funny. Okay, I think all of us have a love-hate relationship with glue guns. That's for sure. Okay, so our hobby blade. You're going to want to have, most likely, a lot of you have something like this, but you're going to want to have a self-healing mat. Mine is an extremely old Creative Memories mat. That has been through the ringer, as you can see, because I've painted on it and I've done all kinds of crazy stuff on it. These are from those rolling stamps. Do you guys remember the rollers? Anyway, you need to have some kind of self-healing mat to use this, or if you don't have a self-healing mat, you can use some nice thick chipboard. So that chipboard that comes in the back of your specialty papers, and it also comes in our kits, is a great tool for this. All right, so we are going to I'm a mess. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. So with a hobby blade, you can do any kind of fun thing that you want to do and cut out shapes. This is a very sharp blade, by the way. Did you just see that? You can cut out all kinds, and I barely even did that, shapes. You can use a ruler with this. If you're going to use a ruler with the blade, I highly recommend getting a ruler with a metal side. So you probably can't see it, but there's this little insert of metal. Can y'all see it? I don't know. That's in this edge. So you want to get a metal edged ruler. This one, if you want the link for, I can send you the link. So just text me if you want it, because it keeps you from cutting into the plastic of your ruler. If you just use a plastic ruler, you're probably going to damage your ruler. Just saying, because these are sharp. So I recommend a straight edge with a metal, oops, I didn't go all the way through on that one. I was trying not to push too hard, and instead I didn't push hard enough. Okay, so I recommend one with a metal edge. Okay, so again, if you don't have a metal edged ruler, let me know, and I'll be happy to send this one, or send a link to you, which is also, I'm an affiliate, so I do get an affiliate kickback. Okay. Don't move. Okay, so you can use it for cutting, of course, regular pieces. You can also use it with your trimmer. So maybe you want to put a piece in, and while I know, and you guys probably know, that you can place your blade wherever you want it and cut a line like this and get this. In fact, you can even measure that line with this over here, because this little line right here tells you where your blade is so amazing. If you guys, have you guys noticed that? Like, if you have never noticed that, you've got these little lines right here that tell you exactly where your blade is, so that you can stop in just the right place. You can measure exactly where I want it to stop, and I can stop in those places. But you can also use this in here. Now, I personally prefer to use my cutting blade, because the problem with this is that, like I just did, it can get off center. Okay, so, but you can, if you want to, you can use it in your trimmer. Okay, Stamp It Up. Does Stampin' Up! Ask if the product is Jeri proof? You guys are so mean. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, it is a very well-loved mat. I have used it for, literally, that mat is probably 30 or more years old. It is old. It's very old. Might not be quite that old. Yeah, no, it probably is. I've had it since I was a teenager, so it's old. Okay, what else can we use this for? So I'm going to bring back out my self-healing mat, or like I said, you can use your, you can use a piece of chipboard. So now this die you're going to see this soon because I'm using it for these amazing cards that we're doing. We're going to be doing this technique. So if you don't have a hobby blade, I recommend it. You don't have to have it, but I do recommend it. The die, the stamp set has a die set that cuts out this image. That's great. But if I want to do an elongated image, like I did here, where I stamp multiple pieces, then I can't use the die on it. Okay? So then what do I do? All right, let's talk about that. So then when you have something you need to cut out, you can take, if you guys probably already know this, but you can take your hobby knife and you can make an X. Now, I could also just take my hobby knife and cut out. If you feel comfortable with it, you can cut out your image using a hobby knife, okay? However, not everyone feels comfortable doing that. So by making an X in here, now this piece should pop out because I just cut it. But by making an X in there, I can get my scissors in. So let's pretend like I didn't already make that hole. I can get my scissors in here and I can fussy cut using my snips this hole out. So this is what I typically do because I feel like I have a little more control over it than I do with a hobby blade. Maybe I'm just not as comfortable with a hobby blade. If you're more comfortable with a hobby blade, then do that. Whatever is the most comfortable for you. And so now whatever image you want to do, you can cut out the center portion and have that peekaboo type thing. You're not alone in what? Having things attack you. Okay, so that's another option. Also, also a quick reminder that this is refillable, so you can buy new blades to replace it if it gets dull. We don't have those blades. You don't need to buy them from us. You can buy them from anywhere. Any place you can buy a hobby blade, you can buy blades for. They are universal. So in fact, you can buy blades that are different from this if you want a different style of blade. So you could have different replacements for that if you wanted to. Okay, so that's the hobby blade, which I love. And I always tighten this down so much that I can't get it off. Okay. I don't want it to move when I'm using it. The last part of the crafter's tips is the rotary blade. Now this is super cool, you guys. If you've never owned a rotary blade, I love them. I actually have some for fabric. Haven't actually tested this on that. Let's do that. Hold on. Let's see, I have a little piece of ribbon here. Let's see if it'll go through the ribbon. Because if it'll go through the ribbon, it'll go through fabric. I mean, it does, but I don't think it's meant for that. It's not quite deep enough, I don't think, to really, but maybe if I wasn't using that style ribbon. But anyway, this rotary blade, so it has a protective cover here, and then you just pull that down and it exposes the blade so that you can use it, okay? So again, you're gonna want a self-healing mat or a piece of thick chipboard or something to protect your surface. And so now we can play around with this one. So another fun thing that you can do, you could use your craft blade to make a border, but you can also use the rotary blade, which you have a little more control over. And what it does is it basically creates this kind of a stitched line. It's essentially a tearaway. So you get a different look. Do you see the tearaway look that you get? So it looks like a ticket stub or something like that. So that's another thing that I love about this, is that you get a different look from it. I can also do any kind of border. You can even take your border dies and run these along it, which is awesome. You can use any of your die shapes that you want to. Let me grab, hold on, let me grab a piece of, look, this is our new strawberry slush. Isn't this beautiful? So I could take a die like this And I could use my crafting, my hobby knife, or I can use this. Again, I would tape this down to make sure that it doesn't move. I moved it already, but you get the idea. Okay, so I can do that, and then I have a detachable piece that I can pop out. Whether you want it to be on a card or you want to use it just as the piece. Okay, so that's an option as well. I want to show you a really fun couple of ideas to do with this. So let me move this out of the way. So this is, actually, I need this. Why did I move that? This is a card base that I haven't done anything to the front yet, but I've already added a piece of designer series paper here. And I'll tell you the dimensions, but you can do any kind of dimension you want. So the designer series piece is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then this piece is 2 by 5 1/4. And so I left a double gap in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to use my metal edged ruler. I don't think I need to, but it's just a kind of better safe than sorry. So I'm going to use my metal edged ruler, except I'm not using the metal edge. That's helpful. Who was laughing at me? Okay, so I'm going to put this in here, and if you feel like you need to do it more than once, go for it, but usually you don't. If you push hard, you're good to go. And so now I have a card that I can send. I'll decorate the front, I'll write in the inside, or maybe you want to write on this side. And then I'm going to punch here with these new fun dies. You guys see me use these yesterday. I was trying to decide where I wanted it. And I'm going to run ribbon through there, and now I have a bookmark card. And so when the person gets that, they can pull this off, and I'll just put a little note down here, pull me off, and they have a bookmark that they can keep, and then they've got their little card, right? So you guys saw a totally different kind of bookmark card yesterday if you watched my video, but this is another way you can do it, which is super duper cute. So that is an option. Also, we have this right here. This is super fun. So I took a piece of cardstock. Whoops. Where did the bee come from? Okay. I took a piece of cardstock, and I did, can you all see it? I did the rotary in like a wave pattern. I'm probably going to do a sky card for this type of card, or if I was going to, I'm going to actually ruin it showing it to you, but if I was going to make this card, that's what I would do. And then I pulled up a little bit of it and kind of rolled the edge like that. So that's how I would send my card. Or you could fold it over, or whatever you want to do. You could even add a little piece of ribbon. It's totally up to you. You can even write pull or stamp pull here, P-U-L-L. I think that probably sounded like pool, but and so then they can do this and reveal a sentiment. Okay, so my card would be decorated, of course, but I'm just kind of showing you this is a fun way to do any kind of pull away that you'd like to do. So I just did a wavy line, but you could choose whatever you wanted to do a pull away with. Okay, so that's another option for something like that. Okay, let's see. Ah, stuff is falling over. No, don't fall over. Let me throw that out. Okay, did I, oh, okay. And then, what did I do with my, sorry. Another thing you can do with this is maybe you have, let's pretend that this is our card front, or something that we're going to be putting on our card. You can do just fun lines. So I could do straight lines. Oops. Don't do what I just did. I could do straight lines. And the cool thing about this ruler that I like too is that it has a grid. So it lets me make sure that I'm staying straight on my cardstock. So I can do lines on my paper, which just gives me some texture. Can you see it? I don't know how well you can see that. I didn't push very hard. But I could also do my lines crooked maybe. Maybe I want a fun design that is just wonky. I'm hoping you can see this. Can y'all see that? And it creates a pattern on your card. Now, if I go over that also with like a blending brush, let me see if I have any ink on any of these. I don't know if I do. Yeah, it'll pop even more. Can you see that? I don't have a lot of ink on this brush. I'm hoping you can see it. But the ink kind of settles differently, whether it's a groove or not. And so you can just kind of make all kinds of fun designs on your own. You probably can't see it very well, but I can see it better in person. So that's super cool because you can do lots of different fun things. I know it's hard to see. Here, let me do it. Let me try it with a different color. It might just be that color. Here, let's try it with white and see if that helps. All right. So I'm going to do a couple straight lines. You can see it. I don't need a grid here because I have a grid here. So, and you do want to push hard. So I could do straight lines, or I could do crazy lines. Or I could do wavy lines. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's see if you can see them better. Can you see them? It's a fine texture, you guys. It's not meant to be like super strong. I can also do this and make them stand out more, right? By bending the paper. But now let me try this and see if you can see it. So yeah, that's better. Okay, so now when I go over it, the lines pick up the ink more than the flat paper, and so you can really see where it is, right? So you can do all kinds of fun things. You can do waves, you can do whatever you want. Maybe you want to do a water card, and so you do all kinds of fun. Okay, there we go. See that? So that looks like waves, right? Isn't that cool? I kind of hit two lines in the same spot, but yeah. So you can really have fun with this tool. This is a really fun tool. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about any of these pieces first before we move on? Yeah, the new strawberry, I like it too. It's a really pretty color. Okay, any questions? No questions? I'm trying to give it time so you guys can actually ask any questions. Does anybody have any suggestions that I didn't say? Because I don't know everything. I wish I did, but I don't. So if you have an idea that I missed, mountains, yes, you could make that be mountains. That'd be cool. I don't know that I'd cross them if they were mountains. I would try to stay with waves. I felt like I could cross them, but okay, don't go anywhere. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys don't have any questions or comments that you would like to add. How many pulls do I have? How many pulls? What do you mean pulls? Are you asking how many handles do I have? I probably have like 6 because I used to do classes. And so I had multiples for my class. But how many do I use? I use 3. My setup is I have one that has the, I have one that has this on it, like that. I have one that has the putty end and the spatula because I have more than one of these. So I'm able to have both of those exposed at the same time. And then I have one that has my hobby blade and a stylus on it. Or sometimes I leave it off entirely and just leave it in there like that. But it usually has a stylus in it. That is what's in my drawer. And then these pieces are off to the side because I use them less frequently. As much as I love this particular tool, I don't use it as often. So I tend to leave it off to the side. But yeah, that is what I have. Oh, that's okay, Jill. It's good. Make sure you watch it. Okay, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We're not done. I got to tell you guys something. So please don't go anywhere. Okay. Okay, so it looks like there's no questions. So what I want to tell you guys is I am actually doing a fun little special. And then I'm going to do announcements and drawings like always, okay? But I want to tell you about this little special that I'm doing because this is super cool. You guys aren't going to want to miss this. All right. I'm doing a fun special. And for this special, you are going to get... Hold on, let me grab everything so that... Where's my other map? Oh, I know where it is. I left it in here. Okay. So for this special, you guys are going to get all 3 sets. You're going to get the original, the die brush one that has the 2 mats, and the crafter's tips. Okay? And you're also going to get a clear stamp case to put your mat in if you want to, or for whatever other purpose you want to use it for. I use these for all kinds of storage, okay? And then you're going to get a little bag like this, okay? If you have a preference on color, let me know. I'll do my best to accommodate you. All of your pieces fit in your bag. And then some. You can even get a few more handles if you wanted to, but this is what you're getting. So I am going to send you all of this goodness. I'm going to pay your shipping from the company. So you're going to save 11%. And you're getting the bag for free. So you're going to save almost $5 plus get the bag for free when you purchase this little bundle from me for $53. So if you would like the Pick Your Tool special bundle, it is this month only. That is March. I'm sorry, March. Wow. Time flies. It is April of 2025. So if you're watching this video later, I'm not doing the bundle anymore, but you can still get everything. This fun little bundle. So it's one case. You get all of the goodies that are all of the pieces from all of the Pick Your Tool bits, right? Okay, so you get all your goodness here. And you're also going to get the little bag to keep everything in. So you're going to save almost $5. It's $4.78. You're going to save $4.78. And you're going to get all of the goodies for all of the things that we currently have for the Pick Your Tool, plus these two pieces for $53. Okay. It's a great deal, you guys. So if you're interested in that, all you need to do is text me and I will be happy to help you out with that. But make sure you do it before the end of April 2025. Okay. So it's just a special deal that I'm doing because I did this video. All right. So that said, let me move this stuff out of the way real quick. Try not to cut myself again on anything. Because I'm good at it. All right. So that said, let's do quick announcements. We got a lot going on right now, guys, but I'm going to try to go super quick, okay? You're late again, you overslept. Oh no, I'm sorry, Jennifer. It's okay. Stick around. You can at least be part of the drawing. Comment, you know, and then you can watch the replay. So Katie asked, where do I store my stuff? All of my pieces to my pick your tool are in the drawer just to the right of me on the very top drawer in my desk. And they're in a little like organizer space in my drawer. I have posted a picture of that. I will send another picture of it. It probably hasn't changed much. But I will post the picture again if you guys have missed that in the past. And you can check that out. Okay, so you guys, you probably saw during the video, I have this super fun May card class. Tomorrow is the last day to sign up for this. Of course, you can always order the PDF if you are, you know, outside of US or whatever, and you just want the PDF. You can always request those from me. And if you miss a class or a club in the past and you want to get the PDF for it, by all means, I'm happy to do that. I just can't make kits after the fact, okay? Because I make them all at once. So, okay, so it saves time. This is using, but this registration closes tomorrow. This is the May card class, and this is using the, whoops, I grabbed the wrong thing. Where did my peekaboo? I put it over here. It wasn't supposed to be there. By the way, I didn't show you. This is the dies, the bee dies, by the way. So they have all the pieces to cut out the bees, the flower, and you've also got, is it our hive? It says our hive. And then you've got all of the hexagon dies with this set, which are so cool. They make little hexagon frames and then the inside hexagon as well, which is awesome. And then you've got some more little flowers and things like that here. So, super cool die set that goes with the new meant to be, die stamp set. Okay. So if you missed that, that's in there too. Okay. So the Peekaboo Forest is the stamp set for this, class. You do need the stamp set. You don't have to get the dies, but if you buy the dies with it, it is a wonderful price because it's 10% off. And you get all the dies that cut out all of these images. So that's really nice. And a couple of extras as well. So you get a couple of standalone type things too. But super duper cute. So let me show you. And this stamp set, by the way, has no sentiments. So you can use any sentiment you want to on these cards that you already have. If you need a sentiment set, you want me to recommend it. If you want me to tell you what sentiment sets I used on the cards, by all means, just ask me when you register. I'm happy to tell you all that. But to keep this short, I just wanted to make sure you knew about that. So here are the cards we're going to be making. The first one is a cute little peekaboo, perfect for Peekaboo Forest, right? Little peekaboo card. So we've got a little interactive card here. We've also got this cute guy. Oh, I love this one. This is going to be my Father's Day card, by the way. I'm going to actually do a Happy Father's Day here. And then I love this one with the little, like, guys peeking up over this, by the way, this stamp set coordinates with the Peekaboo Farm. So if you purchased the Peekaboo Farm when that was available, it does work with that. So cute. And then finally, the one you saw earlier, this is a fun fold. So this is our Expand a Tree. How cute is that? Oh my gosh, I love these cards so much. So if you are interested in grabbing this card class from me, be sure to text me to register no later than tomorrow, and I will be happy to help you out with that. For those of you that scrapbook, I do have an add-on layout. You ready? Here it is. It's so cute. It's tons of cuteness. Oh my gosh. Isn't this adorable? I love it so much. If you want it to say something other than nature, just let me know. Okay? To register for any of my events, just text me and I will help you out. Okay, so this is the cute, super cute layout that we're going to be doing for that class. And then we have the Make Card Club, which is using a new set that's coming out with the new catalog. You guys are going to love this. Oh my gosh. This is Notes and Totes. Now, this stamp set is very unassuming. It's a lot of cute sentiments with a few images. You have some background flowers, some sand, a hibiscus, a sun, and some water droplets. The rest of it is sentiments. The cool thing about this set is that when you buy the die set with it, you don't have to do the cards, you just need the stamp set. But when you buy the die set with it, you get all of these amazing dies. Look at all that. That's a ton of dies, guys. All these amazing dies that make the cutest cards and layout. Are you ready? Here it comes. Isn't that sweet? Now remember, you can use any of the sentiments you have on here. You could do sending warm wishes or just a note. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Whatever you need to use your cards for. I did Relax and Joy. You earned it. I thought that was cute. And so we have this really cute card. Then I started using all the things, right? So here's all the things. Now, newsflash, you're fabulous. We've got headphones, a little heart glasses, shells, of course. We've got lotion and a water bottle, just like that water bottle. And you can use the little handle or not. It's up to you. I got put a little palm tree in there. So cute. We're using the pearls with this. By the way, with this club, you're also going to get the, what is it, Thoughtful Journey paper, I think is what it's called. Yeah. The Thoughtful Journey paper. You're going to get a full pack of that and a full pack of the pearls. So this one also, I put Relax and Joy on this one too. But again, you could use whatever sentiment you want. So the dies have a little fence. And this one looks like those LL Bean, is that right? LL Bean, LJ, what is it? Is that the right term? I think it is. I've probably been saying the wrong thing. Little scarf. It's so cute. I love these. I just think they're so cute. And then I made a little shopping bag one. So you've got little shopping bags, or you could make purses, whatever. So little shopping bag. And I personally am going to use a sentiment from another set to make this a happy birthday card, because I thought that'd be a super cute happy birthday card for a friend. So, but you can also do Newsflash or Fabulous or whatever you want to do that's actually from the stamp set. You can always use your own sentiments too, you know. I mean, that's always a thing, right? Okay. So these are all of the adorable cards that we're going to be making for the club. Like I said, you get $20 or more in product along with your card kits. You don't have to buy the dies. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. And like you can see, you get two different kinds of handles. You get all the little all the little things are in this, which is so adorable. I was, LL Bean is right. Or Land's End. Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about Land's End. Yeah, they probably have bags similar to that too, huh? Yeah, I was thinking LL Bean though, and I'm like, that's the right thing, right? Whoops, I just moved my computer. Okay, and then let me show you the layout, because I'm super happy with this. I thought of afterwards, I was like, I should have done something, and I'll tell you what. So we'll probably do it on the one that we make. But this is so cute. Fun in the sun. And then this one you can put this is just a photo placeholder. So as you can see here, it's just open. So you could put like a circle photo, you could put a square, whatever you want to do here. It's up to you. You could even do like a poem and attach it. You could put your, I'm going to probably journal under my photos because there's white here, but you could do a journaling spot if you wanted to like write a story or something. So, and you don't have room elsewhere. So we've got all the things on here. But I realized afterwards, I think that I would like to change my fun to having it's stamped with this background stamp so that it has a pattern to it. And then you could even add the dots to the sun. I think that'd be super cute. I don't know why I didn't think of it when I was making it. I was probably tired. And so it just didn't come to me, but it came to me afterwards because I was looking at it and I went, yeah, that would be really cute. But anyway, so I think it turned out super cute. I hope you guys like it, and I hope you will sign up for both of these events and get the add-on layouts because they're awesome. Okay. Also, for those of you, these are 2 events that are coming up that you don't have to be signed. Well, this one you do need to sign up fairly quickly, but the other one is kind of a little far out. I'm just letting you know about it so that you don't miss it, okay? And if you pay for it now, that's fine, but you're still not going to get it until later when everybody else pays. So just be aware of that. Anytime you pay early on something, that's great. It gets out of the way, out of your mind. But I send everything together. So just be aware of that. Okay, so this is the annual paper share party. Words. Annual paper share party. Woo! Say that 5 times fast. Okay. Everybody who's done the paper share party before and enjoyed it, let us know. If you didn't, you can let me know that too. But say it on here. Let us know if you enjoy it because people need to know how much fun this is. And it's such an amazing deal. So you are going to get 6 new paper packs that are in the new annual catalog. By the way, if you need the new annual catalog, don't forget to ask me. I'm happy to send you one. 6 new paper packs that are in the annual catalog. That's over 72 pages of designer series paper for just $32 plus shipping. Shipping is $8 no matter how much of this you get, by the way, and I'm going to talk about more that you can get. That's just the base 6 papers. You are going to get 6 card kits with that. Plus, you're going to get 3 free gifts from me as well. Okay. Also, we do the Facebook Live party. I do in person. I do comment drawing prizes, but I also do prizes just because you ordered the annual paper share party. I do prizes for that too beforehand as well. And so there's lots of extra stuff you can get too. Okay. I try to give you guys as much as I can for free. So believe you me, you're going to get lots of great stuff. So $32 plus $8 shipping. That's $40 just for the base paper share. You do need to be registered by May 2nd, guys. I can't go beyond that. So make sure you're registered and paid by May 2nd. Also, if you would like the add-on options, they're amazing. So we have our color families paper. Now, I can't show you the actual color families, but I can show you, what did I do with it? Uh-oh. Hold on. Where did it go? Did I lose it? Okay, that's super weird, you guys. Okay, here, I'll show you this. So the papers look like this year. So every year we get a pack of, we get every color family. You can purchase the paper for that color family. And the paper has 4 designs in it. And so every color comes in those 4 designs. Do you see this? So you get all of the designs in every color of the rainbow. So when you buy this color families paper share, you're going to get every single color in our line. I mean, not black, but every other color in our line in the new designs for that year. And the ones for this year are so cute. They're really cute. You guys are going to like them. So this is not this year, okay? The one I just showed you is the current year. This coming up year, the new designs are super cool. You guys are going to love them, okay? So you can get that for $23 added on, okay? You can also get the embellishment share, which is 7 new packs of embellishments, and we're going to share those, and that's $14. And then you can also get the stamp sets that we're going to be using. So we're going to be using, let me move my catalog here. I got stuff everywhere, you guys. We're going to be using these 2 stamp sets. And remember this die that I used? It's part of this. So the beautiful motif dies are part of this if you want this as a bundle. Isn't that cool? You don't have to buy them together. You can buy one or the other by itself. They are very standalone. These are great background dies, or just kind of add to whatever you're doing dies. And then this is like just sentiments and then a couple of background images. So we're going to use these sentiments for the 6 cards, the card kits that you're going to get. You can use any sentiments you want. Do you have to use these? No. You can use anything that fits in the sentiment things that we give you or whatever. It's up to you. But if you'd like the new stuff from the new catalog, these are amazing sentiments. I think you're going to love both of these sets. And this one, of course, you can also get it as a bundle. A lot of people like the I Want It All option, and so you can purchase that. By the way, if you buy one or both of these sets or the bundle, you will get free shipping from the company from me. So that means you're saving 11% right off the bat, because I'm not going to charge you the shipping on these. And that also is included in the I Want It All option. So if you want it all, you're going to get the paper share, the color family share, the embellishment share, the stamp set, and the full bundle. All of that for $147.03, and you still just pay $8 shipping. Isn't that cool? So cool. So if you guys are interested in that, it's an amazing deal. Let me know ASAP. You do need to be signed up and paid for by May 2nd, so make sure to do that. Also, I have the In Color Club, which I moved my flyer somewhere. Don't ask me where. The In Color Club, there are 8. Oh, I know what I did with it. Okay. There are 8 things that you can get, but that is coming up. So make sure you're aware of that. If you want to get my In Color Club, or if you have questions about what that is, you're a demonstrator and you're going, should I go ahead and buy the new In Colors, or do I want to do your In Color Club? It is a great deal. So if you're interested in it, let me know. I'm happy to help you. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Also, if you're a demonstrator, there are options for buying your own products. You do have to buy them, though, because you're going to need them to complete the kits. But you can buy the card kits from me that are all the other pieces outside of the stuff that you would get from the club itself. So you can buy the card kits from me. They're $15 plus $5 shipping, or you can get just the PDF for $10 if you'd like that. So that is an option as well. Okay, last but not least, sorry, I know there's a lot going on right now. I'm trying to make this quicker, but it's just, there's so much going on right now. It happens every May. It's just like when the new catalog comes out in May and leading up to it, it's crazy. So April, May is nuts. Okay, so last but not least, if you would like to receive my creative inspiration calendar, you can get this totally for free. It's my gift to you. Just text me your email and I'll add you to my list, and I'll send this out to you on the 25th or around the 25th of every month. It includes all my Facebook lives, so you know when I'm doing a live, and then all the other days have a creative prompt on them. So you can do something creative every day of the month. And it also includes my information about my lives, like when and where, all that jazz, and then all my contact info. Okay, so I emailed these out. You guys can just print them out and have all the goodness, right? Okay, so that said, it is now time for our prize drawing. So if you would give me a drum roll. Oh, see, I'm so glad to hear that. You guys love the paper share. That's awesome. It is fun, isn't it? It is so much fun. Have I ever shared my scrapbooks with you? No, I do plan to. I've been trying to do Scrapbook Saturday and Scrapbook Sunday, but we've had so many kits to do. I've been doing that instead. So if I run out of kits, I'll start showing you guys some of my scrapbooks, like my older scrapbooks. You guys will laugh too. It's funny. When you hear me talking about this, you wish you lived in America. Oh, but only for this. You don't want to live here for any other reason. I would like to be where you are. I mean, I don't know anything about what it's like to live there, but you are on my bucket list. So if I ever get out that way, Jennifer, I am coming to see you. I just want you to know that. You're gonna have to like go out to dinner with me or something, because I'll take you out to dinner. How about that? Because oh my gosh, that is like Australia and New Zealand are my bucket list. So they are like at the top of my bucket list. I've always wanted to go there. So yeah, I'm coming to see you one day. I promise. I was supposed to see Anne a couple years ago, but my trip got changed because of the stuff going on with Russia. It got changed from the Baltic Sea cruise to the Norway cruise. So I didn't get to see her because she's in Sweden. But yeah. Anyway, enough said. Okay. So goodness, here we go. Let's bring some goodness out. You guys want some goodies? Okay. Yes, I would love to show you what I've done. Yeah, I just don't have enough time. Always welcome. Thank you. All right. So let's see. We've got some stamp sets here. We've got the Heirloom Arrangements Kit stamp set. So this kit I did last weekend. If you haven't seen this video, this is one of our kit collection kits. Carolyn, Central Oregon's nice too. I should do like a tour and just like go around America and see all of you guys. And all the stuff that's in your area. That would be so much fun. One of these days, because I do want to get a fifth wheel eventually so that my husband and I can travel, especially after he retires. And we'll do that. We'll travel the nation for a while and just come see all of you. That would be so much fun. I would love that. Okay, so the Heirloom Arrangements Kit stamp set. You guys are so funny. All right, we also have the Daisy Daydream. This was yesterday's video. The March Paper Pumpkin. This is a double stamp set. So you get 2 stamp sets in one. So we've got that one. We've also got the Most Adored paper. This is Designer Series, Specialty Designer Series paper that's retired. It has gold foiling. It is so beautiful. I also have this fun little pack. This is a pack of beachy goodness. So there's a ton in here, you guys. There's backgrounds, there's Designer Series paper, there's a bunch of, you can't even see them all. There's a bunch of dies in there. There's like little fishies that are stuck everywhere. I don't know. Anyway, there's all kinds of good stuff in this. So I can send that to you. We've also got the blocks, the D-size blocks. You can always get one of these from me. You can also get the pick for ink spots. If you choose this option, I'll just text you a list of the colors that you can choose from. You can also get so many options. You can also get Central Oregon. Oh, you're saying where in Central Oregon? I would love to go to Oregon too. Yeah, I've never been up to that's further north than I've ever been on that side. So I've been to California, but I've never been to Oregon or Washington. And I do have people in both of those states. So as Jill just said, she's in Washington. The sun has chosen to shine today. Oh, so I also have these really cool gold holly leaves that you can pick, or the little chiseler, which these are not a Stampin' Up! Product. They're amazing. I highly recommend them. Everyone should have one in their craft space, in their craft bag, and you should have more than one. If you want these, I do sell them for $2. I buy them in bulk from the company and pass that savings on to you. But you can also get them free in my drawing. So I am going to do one drawing live today and then one drawing next week for this video. So that way everybody who watches the replay has a chance too. And then I will do this drawing from last weekend as well. Okay, so let's start with this video. So I'm going to take the link from this video and pop it in the random Facebook comment picker, which is going to do my drawing for me. Best website ever. Love it. Okay, it's getting all the comments. It's thinking. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit start. That was a loud hiccup. Carolyn, congratulations. It chose your comment when you said, great series. She's excited about this new series. So Carolyn, please pick a prize and put it in the comments. And you'll get that. Okay, and then, excuse me, too much talking. I'm going to come over here to Scrapbook Sunday's video. And I'm going to pop that in here. Get all the comments. And I'm going to hit start. And our winner is Andrea. Okay, this happened the other day where I think it was the two of you, in fact. I got 2 of my hyphenated, it may not have been, it may have been somebody else, because I have several of you that have hyphenated names. I got 2 hyphenated names for the winners, which cracked me up. And then like the other day, I got 2 Kathys, which was funny. Okay, so Carolyn, you want the stamps. Okay, the Daisy Daydream stamps. Okay, those are yours. They're totally yours. And I don't know if Andrea's on today, so I may have to send her a text. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you had a lot of fun playing with all the pick your tool pieces. Yeah, this is something different. Don't look at it. We'll talk about that another time. But I hope you had fun playing with all the pick your tool pieces. Super fun being with you guys today. And I hope you learned something. I hope there's something here that, oh, that's right. It was you and Geraldine. You are on. Hey, what do you want? I hope you learned something that you didn't think about before that you can do with your pick your tool, or you are interested in buying all the pick your tool stuff because you never saw it before and you didn't know how it worked. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. They're amazing. So, let me know if you'd like my special. I'll be happy to give you that, anytime this month. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you being on. I hope you'll join me next weekend. Wait, let's see. What do we have next weekend? Next weekend, we have Food Court Friday. Yes, we're doing another food-shaped card. And we have the Everyday Arches class, which is super cool. And what else? Oh, we also have a K-Sit that we're going to be doing. So you're not going to want to miss any of those videos. It should be a really fun weekend. So please join me next weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 2 p.m. Central. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend and a wonderful week. God bless.